This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
We begin with breaking news. Flash flooding hits the San Bernardino Mountains, shutting down roads and splitting a town in half with debris. We have the very latest. Plus, how long will the rain last?
A prayer service tonight for a man accidentally shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy during a standoff.
And a massive earthquake in China now blamed for hundreds of deaths as search and rescue crews hunt for survivors. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jory Rand.
I'm Giovanna Lotta. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56. The weather is our big story this evening. This is new video from Forest Falls, north of Yucaipa, where there is flash flooding. You can see there that vehicles are submerged under debris and water. There have been 3 major slides, 75 feet wide and a quarter-mile long. At least 60 people are stranded at Big Falls Campground. Fortunately, no one is hurt. Firefighters are hiking up to the area to give food and water to those who are trapped.
There are rescuers on scene trying to make access, trying to connect the town, remove the debris from the road to allow for access. But in the meantime, shelter in place. And if you do have an emergency of any kind, do still call 911, advise of your location, and we will be there when we're able to make access.
At least one resident in the Forest Falls area was rescued from rising waters and transported to a fire station. Right now, Valley of the Falls Drive at Highway 38 is closed to all non-residents. And there is also significant flooding in nearby Oak Glen. This video was sent into us by some Eyewitness News viewers. About 1,500 residents are trapped and can't get out of the area. Oak Glen Road is blocked by debris flows in several locations. Right now, dozens dozers are working to clear those debris flows. The rain has let up significantly, so crews are now making progress. So far, no injuries have been reported.
Also today, a flash flood in Mount Baldy traps cars and damaged homes. At least 5 people needed to be rescued. LA County Sheriff's Department tweeted a caution alert about debris flows and stormwaters raging in the Mount Baldy Canyon areas. A woman in the Bear Creek area of Mount Baldy reported a hillside coming down next to her house. Crews rescued her and took her to a hospital with unknown injuries. One resident says the flooding swept a sedan off the street and into the stream behind his house.
This is the worst we've had since at least 1969, and it doesn't look like it's even stopping, so hopefully everybody's okay.
There is some good news. Officials say all 4 people who were reported missing earlier have now been found. The storm has destroyed 1 structure and damaged 4 others in Mount Baldy. Rain was also coming down pretty hard in the Coachella Valley today. A thunderstorm east of Indio earlier washed away 1 lane of Interstate 10. And near Joshua Tree on State Route 62, CHP was sending crews to a report of hundreds of cars stuck between flooded areas. Other roads southeast of Indio were covered with up to 6 feet of mud and rocks, including Box Canyon Road east of Mecca. For the latest on the storms, let's head now to Danny Romero. Danny?
Thanks very much, Jory and Giovanna. We look at the live Mega Opera 7000 HD. Give you an idea where the main rain is going on. Now, of course, there's some scattered rain all around the area, a little spot here or there, light rain in many spots. What we want to concentrate on is this area around here. We can show you some on the live Mega Opera 7000 HD. The yellow indicated stronger rain rates coming down, about a ½ inch per hour rain rate in the yellow areas. Oranges and reds, of course, even more intense. What that's given us, though, is some really good flow going on. Watch how we have seen a change over the last few hours. We saw this kind of dry out somewhat along the coastal spots and then pick up again here in the early evening hours. Mostly, though, the action's around the mountain areas, from Mount Wilson to Big Bear, down to the area, desert areas, Palm Springs as well. What's cooking right now, the thing to really watch for are the flash floods. Right now, things have calmed down enough to take off the flash flood watches in many areas, but still one area remaining, a major concern right here, a flash flood warning. That means flash flooding is happening right now or it's imminent, and this is happening until 8:45 tonight. So another 45 minutes of this. Right here, we're talking about Colton, Redlands, Loma Linda, those areas right now under that flash flood warning. So if you're in those areas right now, heavy rain is coming down, thunder and lightning very possible as well, strong gusty winds. Also part of this weather picture for you. Stay indoors. You might be tempted to go outside to see all this going on. Stay indoors. Lightning strikes, not out of the question, but till 8:45, those areas. Also Highway 10, 215, 91, and 60, all under the influence. Could very well get some flooding in those spots too. So again, stay inside, stay away from it. Of course, 8:45 it goes down, but more changes coming. I'll tell you about that in the 7-day when I come back in just a bit. Right now, Giovanna and Jory, go ahead.
All right, Danny, thank you. To track all the wild weather anytime, just download our free Mega Doppler weather app to get the latest forecast for your neighborhood whenever you want. It's available in the App Store and Google Play. Just search Mega Doppler.
In Pico Rivera, a prayer service is being held outside the home of a man accidentally shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy during a standoff at the man's house. A deputy mistook 54-year-old Frank Mendoza for the gunman and fatally shot him. Sheriff's officials say parolee Cedric Ramirez was trying to escape authorities when he broke into Mendoza's home Friday, taking his wife hostage. After an 8-hour standoff, SWAT officers stormed the home, exchanging gunfire with Ramirez, killing him. Deputies rescued Mendoza's wife. Officials don't know why Mendoza was mistaken for that gunman.
Only time will tell whether that decision was reasonable. We know what happened. We just don't know exactly why it happened and why the feeling was what it was at the time the deputy made the decision to shoot.
The civilian monitor for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department says his office will review exactly what went wrong. And in Ventura, police opened fire on a driver just outside the fairgrounds today. They say the suspect was spotted trying to get his truck around barricades near an entrance to the fair. Police had stopped him near Figueroa Street and Harbor Boulevard. They say that's when he suddenly backed up, hitting a car, then accelerated forward, hitting an officer before trying to get away. Officers fired on the man as the truck collided with a row of police motorcycles. The officer who was struck has already been released from the hospital. The suspect is in critical condition.
In Ventura, 2 people had to be rescued from their vehicle this morning after crashing into a light pole. That pole fell on top of their car, and before firefighters could get anyone out, SoCal Edison had to come out and remove power lines attached to the pole. The driver and passenger were both transported to a local trauma center. The extent of their injuries is unknown. The cause of the crash is currently under investigation. And a frightening head-on collision in Beverly Hills. Take a look. The cars slammed into each other just after 2 o'clock this morning on the 1300 block of Benedict Canyon Drive. 2 people were taken to the hospital. No word yet on the extent of their injuries or what may have caused the crash.
Hundreds of thousands of people are still without water in Toledo, Ohio. Their tap water is not fit for drinking or even contact with the skin because of dangerous toxins in the water supply. ABC's Lindsay Janis has the latest.
On day 2 of Toledo's water crisis, it's all hands on deck. Volunteers passing out cases and cases of free water. Keep going in nice and tight.
Yes, sir.
Members of a high school football team lending a hand too.
You're using your football muscles to get cases of water into people's cars.
Workout for the day.
The National Guard helping people fill up containers with as much water as they can carry. The governor of Ohio and the mayor of Toledo saying new tests on the water show improvement, but they're not ready to lift the ban.
One thing people here need to know is everybody is on this. There's nobody asleep at the wheel, and we are not going to get off of this until this whole thing gets solved, no matter how long that it takes.
Toledo's water supply contaminated because of this algae bloom in Lake Erie. So large it can be seen from space. The bloom, turning the lake a shade of green, is caused by runoff from farms and livestock pens and can produce toxins called microcystins that get into the water supply. Too much and they can cause liver and nervous system damage. Families with young children finding it hardest to cope. Suzette Moore told us how she's taking care of her grandchildren.
How are you actually preparing meals and feeding the family?
Basically, we right now I'm grilling on the porch here on my grill. Brushing teeth, we use 1 bottle of water, everybody. We share it till we use it up, and then we're trying to use it sparingly because we don't know how long this is going to be for.
And for dinner tonight, grilled meat with canned vegetables. Even washing dishes is a problem.
Just take it, push it around, wash it.
And the pets have to be given bottled water too.
Again, the mayor says he needs to see more test results on the water before he'll consider lifting a ban. For now, nearly 500,000 people are headed into the work week without being able to drink water from their taps, and businesses are expected to stay shut. Lindsay Janis, ABC News, Toledo, Ohio.
A strong earthquake struck China today, killing hundreds and crumbling thousands of homes. At least 367 people have been confirmed dead in the magnitude 6.1 quake that struck the Yunnan province in southern China. This is surveillance video. We'll have surveillance video that happened during the quake. More than 1,800 people are hurt, and right now crews are searching for survivors in the debris. More than 2,500 soldiers have been sent to the disaster area to aid in the rescue.
Now to the violence in Gaza. Israel has ordered most of its ground troops to come home after destroying a majority of Hamas tunnels along the country's border. Hamas says they will still continue to fight regardless. It has already fired more than 3,000 rockets into Israel, making it the bloodiest round of fighting ever between the two sides. Today, a UN school in the Gaza Strip was hit by what appeared to be an Israeli airstrike. Many of the victims are said to be children.
Very sadly and tragically, I can report that there were multiple deaths and injuries. We're not going with a confirmed death toll. We're not going with confirmed injuries. But I can confirm a shelling incident has caused multiple deaths and injuries in the vicinity of a school.
The Palestinian Health Ministry says at least 10 people were killed and several others wounded in today's attack. The U.S. State Department and UN Secretary General have condemned the violent blast and demanded an investigation.
Now to the doctor being treated for Ebola in Atlanta. Officials say his health is improving today. This comes as medical experts continue to reassure the public the deadly virus will not spread. The director of the CDC says Dr. Kent Brantley has improved since earlier reports. Today is his second day of treatment at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta. Dr. Brantley arrived yesterday from Africa where he contracted the disease. Still, Americans are concerned Ebola could spread, but officials say that's just not going to happen.
I understand the public concern. This is a new infection for the United States, but we really think that we have processes that maintain, again, the safety of not just the patients, but the general public at large.
A second American, Nancy Wright-Bowl, will also be flown to Atlanta for treatment in the coming days. Both of them will stay in secure isolation rooms where doctors insist the virus cannot get out. Ebola has already killed more than 700 people in West Africa.
Ahead on Eyewitness News, another mid-air scare after an unruly passenger has an outburst. We'll have the details.
And every bride wants an unforgettable wedding, but we'll show you one wedding where guests had to leave in quite a hurry.
But first, here's a live look over at LAX. It's a beautiful picture. We've had some wild weather today, and Danny Romero is standing by with another look at the forecast. What to expect for the work week when we come back.
The power of Dallas and Doppler pocket size. Download ABC7's new live Mega Doppler 7000 HD weather app.
It's been a wild day of weather. In Cathedral City, drivers were stranded in deep waters after a strong storm passed through the area. Authorities shut down the streets near Date Palm Drive and Vista Chino. Traffic there was being diverted. Rain also pounding down on drivers in Palm Springs today. Roads in the area looking dangerous as the storm caused very low visibility. And rain was really coming down in Claremont earlier this evening. You can see the rain filling up gutters at several houses and just coming down in buckets. And in the backyard, it's probably not the best idea to go swimming on a day like this. Let's leave those pools empty.
Yeah, good idea. And the rain continues to fall tonight in the Riverside County area. And here's Danny Romero with the latest look at the weather.
Yeah,
Danny.
that's the area that's kind of most concerned right now. That's the one spot left with flash flood warnings in effect, because many areas it was very widespread earlier today, but now as we head towards the cool of the evening, we remove one of those factors we need for these thunderstorms, which is the heat. So let's go outside and check out the live Mega Doppler 7000 HD and see how things are looking on the scope right now. And we can show you now that one spot we want to keep an eye on is right around that Riverside County area. That's where we're still concerned in spots like Colton, Redlands, Loma Linda, where we're still under the flash flood warning in effect. We'll show you now how it's kind of moved throughout the day. Is now really more and more scattered here in the early evening hours. Mostly light rain, but we're still showing this occasional red, orange, yellow areas, and those are the stronger rain rates coming down right now up around Mount Wilson, around the mountain areas, deserts as well, where we can still fire up a little storm here or there. But for now, the main spot to keep an eye on is right here in Riverside County. As I mentioned, Loma Linda, Colton, Claremont, those spots are under a flash flood warning for another half hour or so at 8:45. It should come down as things start to cool down somewhat. That humidity is still in the air, but even that will start to evaporate over the next few days. We'll tell you about that with a 7-day in a second. But, I got to show you this. I'm going to get out of the way. It looks so good. Here's our live AC camera from Malibu. A gorgeous sunset over Southern California. That's why we live here. Really. Downtown we go. Clouds are in the skies, and now we head towards, right now, a summery kind of night. It's 78 degrees here in the 8 o'clock hour, but boy, it feels very, very humid with that 64% relative humidity. And fairly still, just barely a breeze of 7 miles per hour right now. Temps for today, 84 is the average high. We got to 85 downtown, so a little bit above, but feeling a lot warmer with that humidity in place. Our beautiful sunset, 7:52 officially. Tomorrow morning, sun rising up. 6:07 to get your Monday going. Here's this low pressure area that's giving us all that moisture. It's keeping us nice and humid in our spots. We're going to see it start to change next couple of hours or next couple of days. By Tuesday into Wednesday, that low has moved out of our area. We've got a high pressure ridge moving in, which will now turn things a little bit more of an offshore flow, warming things up, drying things out. And when that happens, we'll feel more like a comfortable summer couple of days in Southern California. Here's our numbers for tonight. Where we saw 70s last night, really warm summer night. Not as many tonight. A lot of 60s from Santa Clarita to Thousand Oaks to Lancaster. Then tomorrow, the afternoon highs. Again, a warm day, but not blazing hot. Only 89 for a high in Palmdale. 76 for Malibu. We'll show an 86 for Covina. San Bernardino tops off at 88 degrees with Beaumont checking in at 85. Here's our 7-day power by active weather, giving you an idea. Still a chance of showers tomorrow, mainly in the morning hours. Then things start to change by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. That little bit of marine layer moves in, keeps temperatures below average, taking us 82s into the weekend. Valleys of the Inland Empire will show you still some storm chances tomorrow. And then drying out, but warming up come midweek, get up to the 90s and stay right around there Thursday, Friday, and into next weekend. Mountain spots, thunderstorms still happening there. Cool temps as well. But then here comes the warm-up and some winds kicking in. We'll go to the 70s for Thursday, Friday, into the weekend. Upper 70s there for the highs. And the high desert still storming tomorrow. But then things start to change as the dry heat moves in. The winds blow things out. We'll top off at 95 heading into next weekend. The dry desert heat returns for next Saturday and Sunday.
Okay, sounds good. It's about time.
Danny, thanks so much. An unruly passenger causes a mid-air scare. A pilot was forced to divert the plane to Tennessee after another outburst in which one passenger allegedly threatened flight attendants. ABC's Gloria Riviera has more.
For the third time in recent weeks, a passenger causing chaos on a commercial flight. American Airlines 2214 was flying from Dallas to Boston last night when a female passenger had to be physically restrained. The plane diverted to Nashville. Passengers told police she ran towards the cockpit and attacked a flight attendant. She's now facing assault charges. Just last week, a Canadian SWAT team stormed aboard Sunwing Flight 772 in Toronto after a 25-year-old male passenger was accused of threatening the aircraft. 2 F-16 fighter jets escorted the plane out of U.S. airspace. And on a flight in June, a daughter begged her father to calm down after he lashed out at the crew. He had to be handcuffed and pinned down to his seat. The plane made an emergency landing in Detroit. In 2013, there were at least 8,000 incidents of passenger disruptions.
Passengers on board that American Airlines flight eventually made it safely to Boston at 3 a.m. Gloria Riviera, ABC News, Washington. Now to a 21st birthday one Oregon man will never forget. Police say he was arrested after using a tightrope to walk over a bridge. Investigators say Benjamin Lovitz was spotted yesterday over the steel bridge in Portland, about 270 feet above the Willamette River. The bridge was immediately blocked off and the lift was shut down. A boat was placed under the bridge in case Lovitz fell or jumped. Investigators say after about 10 minutes he walked down the stairs and was arrested. Lovitz now faces trespass and disorderly conduct charges.
Wow. Every bride wants an unforgettable wedding, but probably not quite like this one. The couple was in the middle of their dream wedding on board a river cruise in Florida when a fire broke out in the engine room. Everyone on board was forced to evacuate, wearing their wedding attire with rescue gear. Everyone attending the nuptials was brought ashore by Jacksonville Fire and Rescue's Marine Unit.
They did their vows, and then we were having dinner, and all the power went out right before they were getting ready to cut the cake. And we all had to go up to the top of the ship, or boat.
The mother of the bride says the crew was great about everything, and it's definitely a night the family will never forget. If
what
rain,
a shame.
If rain means good luck, then that must mean the
great
best marriage
yes, absolutely.
ever.
Happiness. Safety concerns at a historic Southern California racetrack.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, are the horses being pushed too hard, or is the turf to blame? We'll hear what officials have to say.
And do you have a question for Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti? Log on at abc7.com/newsmakers and click on Submit Your Question. He could answer it on an upcoming edition of Eyewitness Newsmakers.
Fans flocked to Huntington Beach today for the final day of the Vans U.S. Open of Surfing. The 9-day competition has now wrapped up, and the winners have all been picked. Spectators say the waves were perfect for the men and women's surfing finals, but tonight security is expected to be extra tight. This is in response to the riots that broke out last year on the final day of the surfing competition. Chaos erupted on the streets, businesses were broken into, and trash cans were set on fire.
There are new safety concerns at the Del Mar racetrack near San Diego due to the recent deaths of 10 horses. Is it the turf they're running on, or are the horses being pushed too hard? ABC's Brandy Hitt has the details.
A deadly mystery tonight at Del Mar, Southern California's premier racetrack. 10 horses have died in the first 3 weeks of the summer season, including a 3-year-old thoroughbred who collapsed this weekend from a heart attack in the final seconds of a race. Other horses have been put down after injuries. This racetrack camera capturing one horse tumbling on Del Mar's brand new $6 million grass turf.
It was very sad. I watched, they put the tarp set in and euthanized the horse right there on the field, and I was done.
Several jockeys have also been injured, and some nervous owners are pulling their horses off the grass track.
For the last few years, where the breeding of thoroughbred racehorses have been more about speed than stamina. So you probably have overall a little more fragile a horse than you have had in the past.
The turf course is now shut down as track officials try to soften it with water.
In your expert opinion, is this track safe?
Yes, I believe so.
Del Mar also has a synthetic track that is supposed to be safer and softer on a horse's delicate legs. But 3 horses have also died on that track. It's unclear whether any of these deaths are connected or simply a coincidence. But racing watchers say they do mean a public relations nightmare for the racetrack.
If you're bringing your kids to the track, you certainly don't want to see the trauma and the horror of a horse dying or being put to death out on the racetrack in front of you.
That was ABC's Brandy Hitt reporting. Del Mar plans on reopening the turf racetrack next weekend.
Well, much more news still to come here on Eyewitness News on LA56, including an update on some severe weather.
In San Bernardino, flash flooding is shutting down roads and splitting a town in half with debris.
And a one-legged man in a wheelchair is beaten to death. We'll have reaction from the man's friends.
Plus, crews are getting closer to reopening Sunset Boulevard in Westwood after that massive water main break. We'll have the update.
This is Eyewitness News on LA56 with live breaking news.
Updating our top stories, severe weather strikes Southern California, triggering flash floods in the San Bernardino Mountains. Forest Falls and Oak Glen have been hit especially hard. So far, no injuries have been reported.
A prayer service tonight for an innocent man who was accidentally shot and killed by a sheriff's deputy during a standoff. The victim was identified as 54-year-old Frank Mendoza of Pico Rivera. Sheriff's officials say Cedric Ramirez, a parolee, was attempting to get away from authorities. After an 8-hour standoff, SWAT officers stormed the home and traded gunfire with Ramirez. They say in the middle of the confusion, a deputy fired at Mendoza, killing him.
Some 400,000 people in the Toledo area are being told to avoid drinking tap water for a second day. Officials are waiting for more test results to determine if the water is safe. They issued the warning yesterday after tests revealed high levels of toxins on Lake Erie. Ohio's Environmental Protection Agency is trying to figure out what caused a sudden spike in the toxins. Good evening, I'm Giovanna Lotta.
And I'm Jory Rand. Welcome to Eyewitness News on LA56. An update now on our breaking news. Heavy rains today caused flash flooding in Forest Falls, northeast of Yucaipa. You can see vehicles are completely submerged under debris and water. There have been 3 major slides, 75 feet wide and a quarter of a mile long. At least 60 people are stranded at Big Falls Campground. Fortunately, no one is hurt. Firefighters are hiking up to the area to give food and water to those who are trapped. Right now, Valley of the Falls Drive at Highway 38 is closed to all non-residents. And a flash flood in Mount Baldy damages homes and traps a car under debris and rushing water. At least 5 people needed to be rescued. LA County Sheriff's Department tweeted a caution alert stating mud flow and storm waters are raging in the Mount Baldy Canyon areas. The flooding has swept debris, including a hot tub, into the street. The storm has destroyed one structure and damaged 4 others in Mount Baldy. Our Danny Romero here now, live with the latest on that flash flooding. Hey, Danny.
All right, thanks very much, Jory. Giovanna, we're looking at the live Mega Doppler 7000 HD, and things have certainly calmed down from earlier in the afternoon and even the early evening hours. We can show you some light rain registering on the live Mega Doppler 7000 HD up around Riverside, down just east of Irvine. Some light rain coming down there, a little darker green areas, a little stronger rain rates happening there. But the thing to watch, of course, is kind of how it's changed over the last few hours, the way this flow has happened. We saw a lot of rain, pretty widespread. Go back a couple hours. Then we watch in the last frame here of our satellite loop. We can see mainly it's light rain indicated by the light green, with some spots still showing up with a little stronger rain rates. So it would be the yellow, orange, red areas. So up around Mount Wilson, we can still see some action up there. Big Bear as well has been a pretty active place all day. Desert spots like Palm Springs through the IE there too has been pretty busy areas today as far as stronger rain rates coming down. But still in effect right now. We would have some flasher warnings just taken down around the Riverside area. That was going to go to 845. Things have changed very quickly there now, where things have calmed down enough to take down all the flash flood warnings over the area, Riverside County included. So those spots now, just some light rain falling in some spots like Corona, through Loma Linda, through Claremont. Light rain at the moment. We're not really out of the woods quite yet. There's still a lot of moisture in the air. There's still some warmth in the air as well, so we'll keep an eye on it through the entire evening hours, of course. And I'll have a 7-day for you to update on your week ahead when I come back in just a little bit. Right now, Giovanna and Jory, go ahead.
Danny, thanks. We'll see you then, and we will continue to track the wild weather and bring you updates. And remember, you can get late-breaking weather news wherever you are by downloading our free Mega Doppler weather app. All you have to do is search the word Mega Doppler.
Another big story tonight out of Riverside, where homicide detectives are investigating the death of a homeless man. He was found dead outside a barber shop this morning on the 3000 block of Iowa Street. Eyewitness News reporter Q McCrae has the latest on the investigation.
After hours of processing the scene, the coroner removed the body around noon. Police told us he was a transient. His friends called him St. Louis.
Calling him because he's from St. Louis. Basically, I'll be with him all the time. So I was going to check on him last night. He came around and woke me up and said, St. Louis is dead. I said, what?
Authorities say it was just after 4:30 a.m. when the 911 call came in. A man was found assaulted. They rushed to this barber shop on Iowa Avenue.
Medical personnel responded, and they very quickly determined the subject was deceased.
The lady came down and she checked his pulse, and he said, done deal. Didn't look like him. His whole face was pale. Yeah. So he didn't change colors on me. Because we couldn't recognize him across the street.
St. Louis was well known in this area of Riverside. People told us it wasn't unusual to see him in his wheelchair in this strip mall panhandling. He usually slept in front of this barber shop where he was found dead.
He had his little mean streaks, but basically he couldn't harm a fly. He had one leg. There's no sense of doing that.
He talked a lot of stuff, but he didn't mean no harm. He had one leg. He could barely stand up on, just he had one balance on this leg. He could stand up on one, but not too long.
Police are looking for all leads.
We don't know what precipitated it. That's what we're investigating now, but clearly, he's not a man who necessarily can defend himself.
If you have any information about this crime, contact the Riverside Police Department. The number to call is on your screen. It's 951-353-7104. In Riverside, I'm Q McCrae, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
A fundraiser at Chino Hills High School today for the family of a popular high school basketball star who died following a serious skateboarding accident. Around 200 people from the community, including students, their families, and faculty, came out for bingo to benefit the parents of Nnamdi Okongwu. The 17-year-old sustained a head injury while skating near Ruben Ayala Park last month. Today, the bingo, played at the school every weekend, took on special meaning.
We're here for the community, the kids, the teams, and all the activity clubs here on premises, and this is something from our hearts that we want to be able to support their family.
He would be happy to see how we all came together around such a terrible, event that would happen that we'd never expect. He was always really fun-loving, pretty, intelligent, happy-go-lucky guy. And we're all just so devastated to see him gone.
Half of all the proceeds from the event, an estimated $1,000, will help Nnamdi's family pay for medical and funeral expenses.
The gaping hole on Sunset Boulevard left by Tuesday's massive water main break is being filled today with sand and aggregate as crews get ready to close it up. But officials in Westwood still aren't saying when exactly the street will be reopened. Meanwhile, repairs to the 92-year-old cast iron water main junction have been completed. Steel plating and concrete blocks have been installed and tested on the 36-inch pipes, which officials say should last the next 200 years. Crews are patrolling the area in case there are any leaks.
Firefighters have their hands full this weekend with several wildfires burning throughout California. One up north has already destroyed 8 homes. That fire, burning in Lassen National Forest, has scorched nearly 2,300 miles so far and is not contained. Roughly 50 patients in a long-term care hospital were evacuated as a precaution. Residents were forced out of their homes just 8 miles away where a second fire is burning out of control. It's unclear how many of these are just 2 of 14 fires going on in the state right now, prompting a state of emergency by Governor Jerry Brown. Meantime, the U.S. Forest Service in and around Yosemite National Park is trying to figure out what to do with the millions of dead trees charred in the Rim Fire last year. Environmentalists want Mother Nature to take its course and allow for new plants in the area. Supporters of the timber industry think the burned trees should be salvaged before posing a new fire hazard. Loggers will be allowed to take some, but it's unclear just how much. The decision will be made in the coming weeks.
A hearing is scheduled tomorrow in Tijuana for a U.S. Marine accused of bringing weapons into Mexico. 26-year-old Sergeant Andrew Tamarisi has been behind bars since his arrest at the San Diego-Mexico border on April 1st. According to the LA Times, his lawyer will have a chance to question Mexican officials who detained Tamarisi at tomorrow's hearing. They say they found a rifle, shotgun, pistol, and hundreds of rounds of ammunition in his pickup truck. Tamarisi told authorities he accidentally entered Mexico when he made a wrong U-turn at the border crossing. More than 130,000 people have signed a petition demanding the release of the 2-time Afghan veteran.
A man is behind bars tonight in a bizarre assault at the Beyonce and Jay-Z concert last night. Police say the suspect even bit off part of someone's finger. A crowd of about 60,000 fans had packed the Rose Bowl in Pasadena for the power couple's On the Run tour. Police say that's when 25-year-old Roberto Alcaraz Garnica grabbed a woman's breast, then bit off her boyfriend's fingertip in the fight that ensued. He's now in jail after police arrested him on suspicion of sexual battery and mayhem. Police arrested a few other people last night for different offenses. A second concert began at 8 o'clock tonight.
A 150-pound tortoise found wandering the streets of Alhambra has been reunited with its human family. This big guy named Dirk was picked up by 2 police officers yesterday. He was taken to police headquarters and later brought to animal control. Police joke that he tried to make a run for it and they nearly had a pursuit. Fortunately, Alhambra police are pretty fast, and they have since reunited Dirk with his owners.
He's very slowly getting away. Stop him.
See, he's moving.
Yeah, this is actually video. This is not a photograph. This is video right now of Dirk making his getaway. We're coming up, a commemorative service today to honor the victims of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombs dropped over Japan during World War II.
Still to come on Eyewitness News, we'll show you the special service.
And it's the Great Escape. We'll tell you what this motorcycle ride is raising awareness for.
A local commemorative service today to honor the victims of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombs dropped over Japan over World War II. The service was held at the Koyasan Buddhist Temple in downtown Los Angeles today. On August 6, 1945, a U.S. B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb over Hiroshima. 3 days later, another B-29 dropped another atomic bomb on Nagasaki. On August 15th, Japan's Emperor Hirohito announced Japan's surrender.
Dozens of motorcycle riders got together in Marina del Rey today for a ride to raise awareness of mesothelioma. It was the second annual The Greatest Escape ride in Marina del Rey. The ride began at Bartell's Harley-Davidson on Lincoln Boulevard and ended at Paramount Ranch in Agora Hills. Folks were also treated to a barbecue lunch and a concert.
I'm a motorcyclist for 50 years. I'm on the board of the American Motorcyclist Association. I'm here with a lot of my friends, and we're all going to ride, have a wonderful day, big party.
All the proceeds going to finding better treatment for mesothelioma, asbestos-related cancer. About 3,000 people a year get the disease. A third of them are veterans.
There's much more news to come. We'll have an update for you on the wild weather.
And here's a live look outside at Long Beach tonight. Danny Romero is standing by with your live Mega Doppler 7000 HD forecast.
And an 8-year-old boy battling leukemia has his wish come true. We'll explain. Danny Romero has been a busy guy today. Well, this Sunday, and then last week we had a whole lot of stuff happening as well.
It's kind of waiting for us on the weekend, I guess, to get some of that. I mean, a lot of weather action going on. Things have calmed down somewhat over the area. We still have our live Mega Doppler 7000 HD finding some of that storming going on. Let's check that out right now. We find out that for the most part, things have cleared out pretty nicely. We've got some spots where we're still seeing a little, at least light rain going on. We'll show you some of those spots right now up around. We head down towards just an Orange County area, towards Riverside, just east of Lake Forest and Mission Viejo, El Toro, a little area there of some light rain coming down. Up around the foothills, we saw this pretty much all day, just north of Ranch Cucamonga. There, too, has been some pretty strong rain going on. The really strongest part right now is up around Barstow, to be exact. And up around there, we can still see there some spots where the areas of rain are still pretty strong right now, enough to be the one spot where we've got enough of that, a high enough rain rate, we're going to get a flash flood warning in effect for those spots. You can see on the satellite loop that things have cleared up pretty much, but again, mountain areas, desert areas still getting some of the rain. But as far as the flash flood warning, just the one up around Barstow I was talking about, that's just way, way, way north of us. So that flash flood warning, that's in effect till 11:15 tonight. Otherwise, most of Southern California has cleared out from the extreme warnings we've been having. Here's our Irvine Spectrum camera, live HD, Orange County, cloudy skies. Same for downtown, and still clouds, but warm. Almost 80 degrees here in the 8 o'clock hour, 78 right now downtown, barely a breeze, so a very still tropical air and lots of humidity, 64% is the reading right now. Watch the moisture here. A little bit of an upper level low that's still circulating around, that's bringing all that moisture into our area and keeping it with us certainly tonight and into tomorrow. But then things start to change. Less humidity, a little more dry heat comes our way. Numbers tonight, indication of some of the change. Not quite as warm for the overnight lows. Last night we saw a lot of 70s. Tonight, mostly 60s, mid to upper 60s for the overnight lows. And then tomorrow, not real blazing hot. Still some heat. We're talking 89 in Palmdale, but not the 90s and 100s we saw a few days ago. 76 at Malibu, 78 Huntington Beach. So the beach temps will still be warm once again. Inland Empire will be in mid to upper 80s and low 90s. Now looking ahead, here's our 7-day. Powered by AccuWeather, showing you the changes. Still chance of showers tomorrow, mainly the morning hours for LA Metro and Orange County. Beach areas included. And then we get this marine layer coming back. Morning clouds, afternoon sunshine is that pattern, returning to give us a little cooler flow. So we get temperatures staying below the average of 84, 85. We'll stay around 82 and take that into the weekend. For the valleys and the Inland Empire, still a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow, mainly morning hours. And then a sunny couple of days ahead, Tuesday and Wednesday, and warming up to the low 90s and staying that way right into the weekend. But it's more of a dry kind of heat going on. For the mountains, we see a cool day tomorrow, but still a chance of thunderstorms, mainly during the earlier hours of the day. And then temps start to rise up on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then by Friday and Saturday, we're up to the mid to upper 70s for our afternoon highs. Looking at the high desert, thunderstorm action still in place for tomorrow. Still the heat and the humidity mixing together there, but then by Tuesday into the rest of the week, dry heat moves in. Temps jump up to the mid-90s. So the desert feeling like the desert should feel.
Okay, Danny.
There you go.
Sounds good. And now from weather to sports. Kurt, what's up?
Sandoval joins us. I can see you dreaming already of October.
And rightly so, right? I don't know that I've been so anxious for this Dodger-Angels series in August. It's a great time to be a baseball fan in the Southland. Angels and Dodgers both having terrific seasons and both have realistic aspirations of playing in the World Series. Now they'll spend the next 4 days in a home-and-home series that starts at Dodger Stadium tomorrow. What a dream to consider this could be a preview of the World Series. The ageless Josh Beckett today on the bump, if you will. Problem is, Beckett hasn't pitched well. In fact, he hasn't thrown more than 5 innings since late June, gives up that home run, and the Cubs have a 3-1 lead. Matt Kemp did homer for the 5th time in 6 games, but reliever Brandon League melts down. He gave up 3 walks, 3 earned runs in less than an inning. The Dodgers lose to the last-place Cubs, but they're still in first place over the Giants by 2.5 games. As for the Angels in Tampa Bay, where clearly the Rays forgot to pay the electric bill. This game saw a 19-minute power outage. No power outage from that man, Mike Trout. His 80th RBI of the season, and the Halos have a 6-2 lead. It was suddenly 7-5 when they called on Houston Street. He has his 7th straight scoreless outing since the Padres made the deal with the Angels. It's his 6th save in those appearances. 7-5 the final. Sure, you ready for some football? Giants and Bills in the Hall of Fame game. Second quarter, former USC Trojan Robert Woods making some noise on that nice little 2-yard catch. It's 10-3 Bills. In the fourth, Bills now up 13-10. And check this out from the G-men. Ryan Nassib, the rookie out of Syracuse, just heaves it. And look who wins the jump ball. Corey Washington. He takes it the distance. That proved to be the game-winning score, 17-13. PGA Tour, and dare I say, a squirrely final round at the Bridgestone. Issues for Tiger Woods again. Remember, he missed the first half of the season because of back surgery. He had to withdraw today due to back spasms. That doesn't look like a guy who's going to play in the PGA Championship this week, but we'll see. Sergio Garcia came in with a 3-stroke lead, but when he missed that on 17, he's 2 strokes down. So who else? Rory McIlroy continues to dominate, putting out on 18 for his second win. In, 3 weeks? He won the British a couple of weeks ago, and he'll go to the PGA Championship as the #1 man.
And what's his dad saying?
I can't say.
My boy.
It's my boy.
Thanks, Kurt.
Got to go on the upswing.
Coming up later tonight on Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7, the latest on our ongoing story. Flash flooding in Southern California. Rivers of mud come crashing down on drivers and campers. Vehicles buried and roads are impassable. We're live. Plus, breaking news as it happens on Southern California's #1 newscast. Eyewitness News at 11 on ABC7.
A huge jackpot win.
Still to come on Eyewitness News here. Someone won millions of dollars in Super Lotto last night. We'll tell you where the winning ticket was sold.
Guardians of the Galaxy blasts past expectations at the weekend box office.
Guys, move! Now forget this.
Marvel Studios' comic adaptation about an intergalactic band of rebels earns $94 million in its debut weekend. That makes the film the third largest opening of 2014. Lucy earns $18.9 million, grabbing second place at the box office this weekend. Following in third is Get On Up with $14 million, rounding out the top five Hercules and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Make-A-Wish is making dreams come true for an 8-year-old battling leukemia. This was waiting for Adam Issa at the end of a scavenger hunt in Santa Monica today. A volunteer flash mob performed the song Under the Sea to let Adam know he and his family are going to the Atlantis Resort in the Bahamas. After everything he's been through, it will give him the opportunity to make some memories and just be a kid.
This is amazing. This is just, the words can't describe. I mean, it's really just unbelievable. We didn't expect it. I'm glad that there's this kind of organization that look up for kids and try to help and make their wishes come true.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That scavenger hunt ended in Menchie's in Santa Monica all month long. The Menchie's chain is accepting donations for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. In exchange, they're handing out coupons for free frozen yogurt.
He's going to love the lazy river at the Atlantis, that's for sure. Someone who bought a lottery ticket at a South El Monte liquor store is an instant millionaire. That's because they matched 5 numbers and the mega number in the Super Lotto Plus game. The winning numbers are, grab your pens, pencils, papers, 6, 16, 22, 27, and 32, plus the mega number 3. The winning ticket was sold at Sam's Liquor Store on Garvey Avenue in South El Monte. The lucky retailer will receive a bonus check of $130,000 just for selling the winning ticket.
I've been a lotto retailer for more than 20 years, and this is the first time. First time I sold a jackpot. Yeah.
The estimated cash option for the winning ticket is nearly $16 million before tax.
Nice. That's going to do it for us here on Eyewitness News at 8 on LA56.
Law and Order SVU is next. We'll see you on Eyewitness News at 11.